Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a process video for you using the Felicity Jane Catherine kit. This is the kit for June 2020 and it came with these vellum frames that I have been struggling to use. So today I thought I would do a triangle with two of the frames and the picture of my daughter when she graduated from pre-K, and you'll see here that I'm struggling. I thought maybe I would use one of the journaling cards to put the title and then one for the actual journaling, but you'll see here that that's not what's going to end up happening. But I keep struggling and struggling trying to make it work. I think about using one of these library cards as a journaling or as a title, and I don't like how that looks either. And I keep trying to figure out what to do. Should I use the frames as an embellishment cluster? Should I continue to do the journaling? And then finally I just decide to get started. I'm going to start backing up the frames, trying to decide if I should use that flower cardstock, but it's so pretty. And I'm using the pink cardstock with the white flowers on it. You can't really see it from here, but I'm using it like it's a solid instead of a printed cardstock. I decide to use the floral border on the bottom of my layout. And initially I thought about sewing it, but I'd already adhered things to it before I sewed it, so that's not going to happen. I decide to use this bright, what color is this? Like a reddish orange as my background for my photo. And I'm putting the date on the date stamp so I don't forget what it is. I always write the dates on the back of pictures when I print them out so that I don't forget to date all of my layouts. Now I'm using the best paper trimmer, the Caterpillar Pro Crop, to cut my border, and it cuts straight and it's self-sharpening. It's amazing. Seriously, if you're looking for a new paper trimmer and you're willing to make a little investment, this is the best investment you can make because it's self-sharpening. You don't even have to buy replacement blades, and you just change the battery and the LED lights to show where you're going to cut. I mean, it's really good. So after I do that border, all my cardstock are still 12 by 12, so I have to start cutting up the paper to use them as layering pieces. So I just cut one about 3 inches and I'm going to start adhering that down. I use the mint with the white polka dot as my first layer, and I go ahead and do that, and then I cut the bottom portion with my 9-inch, or is it 9.5-inch? I think it's 9.5-inch Tim Holtz scissors. Then I use the opposite side for another piece of layer, but I cut it so that you can see the berries on the bottom of that. Then I use this starburst, and I'm going to back everything up with that one. And I'm going to use my Caterpillar Pro to cut, and I'm going to show just a bit of the starburst on the side and on the top. Now I'm going to decide to do my journaling, and I'll cut that journaling card so that it'll fit within the frame. And I still don't know how to adhere adhesive to vellum so that it doesn't show through. So if any of you guys have suggestions on how to do that, I would really appreciate it. So what I ended up doing was I just put a little piece of adhesive onto a corner of the photo frame, just a tiny piece. And then I'm going to use other adhesive when I'm doing my embellishment cluster to adhere the rest of the frame down. Now I'm doing my journaling, and I'm using a Zebra Sarasa vintage dark gray pen for my journaling. I like to use gray for my journaling instead of black so it's not so stark. And I wrote, "Kaia, I can't believe my baby girl is going to kindergarten. I am so proud of you and the young lady you're becoming. Stay true to yourself always." And then I date stamp using the Felicity Jane date stamp and VersaFine ink pad. Now I decide I'm going to go ahead and adhere the photo down, and so I'm going to make a visual triangle using only one of the photo frames, and then I decided that I'm going to ground the layout on the bottom right hand corner of the layout, and you'll see I'm going to do that with the Felicity Jane girl Catherine. But first I decide to use one of the labels, so I'm going to take crochet thread and thread it through one of the labels. I'm going through the rest of my embellishments to see what else I want to put in there. Those are my Stampin' Up! Dimensional adhesive I also decide I want to stamp something. So what I end up doing is I end up using the stamp that says currently, and I'm going to stamp that using VersaFine ink to the top left-hand corner of my photo. You can see there I'm also trying to decide what other things to do. I'm going to use this yellow star tag, and I'm going to thread that with a crochet thread, and then I'm going to adhere that to the top right of the journaling card. Now I'm going to place adhesive to the bottom of the journaling card. Then I'm also going to place adhesive on top of the journaling card to adhere the journaling card down even more. I'm going to take the Felicity Jane girl, and I'm going to use her. Initially I thought maybe on the picture of my daughter, but then I decided to ground her and put her on the bottom right hand corner. The puffy stickers were also part of this kit, and I'm trying to decide which puffy stickers I'm going to use. And I'm trying to see what else came with this kit to see what else I could use. And I decide that I am going to do the stamp. Now the stamp set is better for project life type of documenting because it has the days of the week and like currently and reading and listening and all of that stuff. But I did want to add a little something to this layout. So I just stamped currently, and it's stamped beautifully using the VersaFine black. I decide to use that little tab that says about me, and I'm going to adhere that using the Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals just to add a little bit of dimension. I'm also going to put the floral die cut to the top left hand corner of that photo just to give it extra dimension. But I'm trying not to cover up the word currently. If I had thought about that sooner, I would have moved the stamp over to the right just a tad. Always hindsight is 20/20, right? I'm gonna take this yellow, not the yellow heart, the pink heart, and I'm gonna put it to the top right of the journaling area. Then I decide I'm gonna work on my girl. So I go ahead and put foam dimensionals on to the girl, and I'm glad I didn't press down on this really hard because I do end up pulling it up a little bit later. But I do adhere her down to the right bottom of my layout. Then I'm going to work on my title, and I just decided to name this Kaia. This layout is going into her album, and so I just wanted to put Kaia on there. I thought about putting age 5 because that's how old she is, but I just decided against it since I did date it. Now each of my kids have their own sets of albums, and those I put stories about the individual child instead of like family types of layouts. Now I put this rainbow down on the bottom right hand corner of my layout, and this is where I pull the girl up because the girl's legs were, you could see too much of the rainbow. So I just moved her a little bit to the right. Now I'm also going to put the puffy stickers that says happy days to the top left of the picture, and then just a little berry to the top right of the journaling card. Now I'm going to, of course, splatter after that, and I am using the Dr. P.H. Martin's black ink, and I'm trying a different method of splattering this time. I'm just gonna tap my finger against it like I do with the Heidi Swapp stuff, and when I force my hand on it, it makes more of the paint drops. Then I'm using the Nouveau Vintage, the Yellow Brick Road, and I'm gonna make 3 dots into 3 areas of the layout, and I call this layout done. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.